Konica copier, how to back up your account track codes, fill in the Konica copier. So you need to back up your codes. Customers using some type of password, they're using codes, so you gotta make sure you back those up before either the machine is about to go out or you're replacing a hard drive. So this is the way it's done. Find the IP address of the copier, log in through a web interface, take the numbers, the IP address on the top here, put in the numbers by itself. It could be 192.10. something. Get that IP of the copier. Once you're there, click enter. This is going to be the web interface. You're going to go into the administration link, click on login, log in with the password. And this is a 4th generation Konica copier, so the password by default is 1234567 8. 1234567 8. Once you're in there, click OK. The first thing I would have you do, you want to go into the user account track tab. The reason we need to do this is because you need to take a look how the copier is configured to use account tracking codes. So I would suggest taking a screenshot of this, save it somewhere as a JPEG or as a file, but take a look how the machine is configured for that particular environment, how the account tracks are being used. As you notice, this particular copier, the authentication account track input method is set to account name and password. So the reason we need to know this, because once we get back, if for some reason these settings are off, this is the first thing we need to do before we import the codes back into the copier. We gotta put the copier back the way it was prior to the format or the upgrade we did on the copier. So once we got the settings back in here, we should be good to go. Now, to back up the machine's account codes, you're going to go to the maintenance link or tab, click on import export on the left. Okay, best practice is I will suggest device settings. Get that backup for that, click export. What that does, it'll back up your network settings. Click OK, give it a couple seconds. It's going to do a backup of your device settings. Now once you get that file, it's going to say download and just save it somewhere. Here we go. You're going to click on the download link, save it. I'm going to create a folder here on my desktop. Okay, new folder. I'm going to save it in there. I'm done. Close it. I'm going to go back. Next step is I want to get the counters. You're probably going to notice one thing with the counters. You have a meter count and a count track counter. You want to get that count track counters because the machine is using counts. One thing about the Konica copiers, once you do the count track counters, it only gives the count for the department codes for each user. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to take these counts and put them back into the copier, the Konica copier. Konica does not have that feature to import the counts back into the machine. You could import the account codes back, but not the counters. But at least you have something to give to the customer. It'll create this file. You'll give the file to the customer, say, look, this is the current count before the machine went down or before I replaced the hard drive. You have something to give to the customer that has the last count for the codes. Okay, so we're going to click on account track, click OK. It's going to create that file, download it, save it, put it in the same folder. I'm going to go ahead and open it so you can take a look what that looks like. It's basically, as you can tell, it's just a basic text file. And again, at least the customer knows what they have, what are the current account numbers for each user. At least they have this, so this file you could give to the customer. Okay, that's done. So I'm going to go ahead and go back. Next step is I want to get the authentication information. Now this is the option that's going to back up your account codes, basically for the copier. So you're going to click on that. Click on export. I do suggest give it a password 1234567 8. Go next 1234567 8. Click OK. It will create the file, download it and save it. Also, all these files you downloaded, do not rename them. So click on download, save the file, or put it in the same place. Save it. Do not rename the file. Close it. I'm going to go back. Last step will be, I do suggest, best practice, also do a backup of the address. Address basically means it's the address book. That's your email, fax numbers, and scan to file options. It will be all in this address link. So I'm going to export, and the only thing you need to back up is the address book. So basically that will back up again your emails, scan to folder, fax numbers, all in one. So click on that. You don't need a password, leave that blank. So click OK. Give it a couple seconds. You're going to download the file. Once that's done, click on the download link. Now also, depending how large the file is, it will take a couple extra minutes. So here it is. I'm going to download, save it, put it in the same option, same folder, close it, go back. Okay, so we have all the files that we need. Now, once we're done, you're done your work with the copier. The codes either disappear, they're not there. Now you need to import the codes back in. So the first thing again, you log into the machine. It's got the same IP again. You want to go to the user authentication account track tab. And remember these settings here. You got to make sure the copier is back to the same configuration what it was before that the user was using to use the account track counts. So once you have that done, click OK. Go to the maintenance tab. In the maintenance tab, go back to import export. And basically now we're going to import everything. Start from the top, click on import, browse for the file that you know you saved, browse it. I'm going to go to that folder that I saved. Here it is. And here it is. For my device settings, it's right there. Click open, click OK. That will take a couple seconds. Let it download the file. Once it's done, click OK. Here we go. So give it a couple more seconds. It's importing the information. Now this is just doing just say the customer has some special settings with network settings, special DNSs, scan to email SMTP settings. That's the only thing it's backing up right now. So how the machine was configured through the configuration through the page scope of the web interface. So let's give it a couple more seconds here. The machine is still doing a backup. Once that's done, the next step will be is to back up all the codes for the customer, all the account codes for the customer. So this should be done here in a couple seconds. It's still importing, still backing up. We need to please wait, of course. Let's please wait. Backing up. Here we go. Okay, it's completed. Click OK. Next step will be, again, now counters. You probably notice if I click on counter, I do not get the import tab. Again, like I said, Konica copiers, you're not going to be able to import the account track counters back to the machine. But you do have that file that you didn't export, and you give that to the customer so they could do a tally from that last file to when the machine gets back up and running again, operational. They can start counting again and just pretty much sum up the files. Okay, the next step will be authentication information. Now this is the option that's going to bring back those account code, department codes, or passwords and settings to the copier. So authentication information, you can click on import. I'm going to browse for that file. Here it is, authentication. For the sake of time, we know it's the same process. Click on that, click open. It will download the file and it'll be on its way. And then the next step will be is the address book. Click on import, browse the file. Here's my address book. Click open, click OK. It's on its way. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, the authentication information. Once you do the import, don't forget to put the password in here, the password you gave that file. And click on browse and do the backup. Okay, or if you don't put that password there, it's not going to back up anything. Okay, once we have the information back into the copier, if you want to confirm the account codes are back into the machine, the account track codes, just go back to the user account track tab. Go to the left where it says account track settings. Click on the link on the left. And right here, you're going to see the name of the user. And these are your account track registration code. It would not show you the password because those passwords are encrypted with the Konica copiers. And again, it will not give you the counts either because there's no way to back them up with the Konica copiers. Alrighty, so this is the way you could back up your account codes for if the machines, any Konica copiers are using account tracking. So again, quick tip, uh, make sure the user account track option, look at the settings, what it's using, because if for some reason these settings are gone, you gotta make sure they're back the way they were, put them the same way they were, and then you can start doing your backup. Alrighty, once you're done, make sure you log out, click OK, because if you stay logged in on the Konica copy, the machine is locked up on the screen and no one can use it until you log out of the admin mode. Once you log out, the machine is back up and running. Users are able to print and scan. Okay, this is the way how you back up account code tracking codes with the 4th generation Konica copy. Thank you.